Welcome to the International Space Station, the most extreme place humans can live, 250 miles above the Earth. We astronauts travel around the world at the speed of 17,500 miles an hour. That's one orbit of the planet every 90 minutes. For the last 5 months, we've turned the cameras on ourselves to film an up-close and personal look at our weird and wonderful daily life on board the space station. This is our story in our own words. Enjoy.
I am Koichi Wakata from Japan. I've been an astronaut with the Japanese Space Agency for 22 years. Life on board is a bit like camping, really. We don't have running water, so we cannot have showers, which I really miss. But you have to get used to it because we're up here for 6 months. I really enjoy this moment when this warm towel touches my face. It's so refreshing.
I'm Rick Mistracchio, originally from Connecticut. It was 9 years from the time of my first astronaut application until I was selected as an astronaut. Now I am on my 4th mission to the space station, which I helped to build. Saturday morning breakfast. Some coffee, a muffin top, and some oatmeal. Get it prepared.
I'm Mike Hopkins, also known as Hopper. I worked as a flight test engineer in the Air Force before being selected by NASA. But this is my first time in space, so I'm the rookie around here.
All right, hot water in my coffee, hot water in my oatmeal. Shake it up. The oatmeal is very lumpy, so you really have to mix it. The International Space Station is our home away from home. It's the size of a football field and includes science labs, sleeping quarters, even a gym, all powered by giant solar panels.
Being the new boy on the station, it took me a while to get used to microgravity. At first I didn't know what was up and what was down. But after a few days, you realize it just doesn't matter.
And this is the really cool thing about floating. You can move from one end to the other pretty quick. Now we're entering the U.S. segment.
This is the cupola, my favorite place on the whole station. I often come up here to enjoy this very special window on the world. The view out of here is just breathtaking. The Earth is so beautiful. The view of our home planet during the daytime gives me a completely different impression from the view at night. Oftentimes you see the vast blue ocean in front of your eyes. I really feel that this is a planet of water. Flying over Sahara Desert, you can see how strongly the winds are blowing, looking at the streaks of sand dunes.
And I have some good news, bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
Bad news. Of course, that one first.
That way we can end happy. We find out what the day has in store when we have our morning conference call with Mission Control. Every minute of our day is controlled by the folks back on the ground, from the moment we get up, to how long we spend on each task, to what time we eat, even what time we go to bed.
Okay, that's a great good news. Thank you very much.
We share the space station with 3 Russians, although we don't see much of them because they've got their own jobs to do.
Houston, Hotel, Munich, Sukhova, Moskva. Good morning, and we're ready for DPC. Houston, over to you, please.
People are always asking us, what do you guys actually do up there? Well, basically, the ISS is a giant laboratory orbiting above the Earth, and our job is to carry out science experiments in zero gravity.
The changes are related to the food warmer troubleshooting tests that we already discussed, and we don't have any other topics from Houston this morning. All right, you gentlemen have a great morning, and I will pass you over to Carol in Huntsville.
Yeah, thank you. I'll go to step 1.6.
Here's our first look at our little fellas. They're just standard sidewalk or pavement ants, and we're going to study how they move. All right, well, let's go set them up. We're conducting up to 300 experiments on this mission. Some of them can seem pretty strange, even to us. All right, so here we have Mike opening up his own Ants in Space package. But the folks back at Mission Control assure us it's all important stuff. Okay, I'm ready to release the ants from their nesting area into the foraging area. So here we go. 1A is open. The ants have begun. You can see some of the ants floating around. It's pretty funny. And they're off. Some of them look a little confused. When they fall off of the structure and they kind of float around, you can see them flailing a little bit. The guys in the second group seem to be a little more cautious. This first group must have had a little something extra in their food.
We have to put in 2 hours a day of exercise on these special machines. Otherwise, our bones and muscles will waste away, and we won't be able to walk when we get back to Earth. This is the most painful part of the day, and there's no getting around it. No pain, no gain.
Dinner time here on the International Space Station. So right on the package here, it tells us what we need to do. This is 100 milliliters of hot water. Most of our space food is dehydrated or irradiated. I know it looks weird, but it's actually pretty good. So there it is. The water obviously is just sitting there. It takes a little while for it to get absorbed into the package. Sometimes you have to help it by kneading it a little bit, shaking it around. So you can see in 5 or 10 minutes, that's going to be some delicious strawberries.
I'm going to open up the food warmer. Already very hot. There you go, upper. Another one. 0G is very convenient.
We eat pretty well up here, but I still miss my wife's home cooking. You know, I was just talking to my wife. I said, so what are you doing? She says, oh, I can't tell you because you told me not to tell you. I said, what are you doing, eating pizza? And she said, no, I said, what are you doing? She says, I'm making sauce and pasta and meatballs. And I said, well, show me. So she brought the camera over to me. She showed me the big pot of sauce. And I said, oh, smells good.
This is so good. Dinner is over, and I've got just enough time for one more look at the Earth before I go to bed. The night view comes every 90 minutes. The city lights spread on the Earth's surface are really symbolic, showing how strong the power of our technology is, and at the same time, how huge the energy consumption by human society is. I can definitely feel the power of the nature and a sense of awe towards it.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark.
Big excitement today. The groceries are on their way. But as we're orbiting 250 miles above the Earth, there's only one way for them to get here. It's capture day here on board the International Space Station. The orbital Cygnus 1 vehicle is less than 1 kilometer away from us. Mike and Koichi are up in the cupola right now, and they've got eyes on the vehicle. Should be an exciting day. We're looking forward to this vehicle delivering food as well as new science.
What's the BD mode is still showing? Approach 23 meters.
All checks.
We get a special delivery like this about every 6 weeks.
It all looks good.
Okay, this is a great shot. I got to give you this shot going over Patagonia. Okay, stand corrected. That was the vehicle going over the Alps.
Nice shot.
Oh.
Beautiful. Just simply beautiful.
It's approaching from 30 meters down to 10 meters at this point. Once it gets to 10 meters, Mike will reach out with the robotic arm and grapple it.
Station Houston on 2. You are go for Cygnus capture sequence. Step 4 in 1.110. The approach and monitoring. And
Verify USGNC, CMGTA, and attitude hold no descent.
Okay, I see CNGTA, attitude hold, no DSAT.
Roger that. 2.5 meters.
Confirm. And Houston, station on 2, we have a successful capture of the Orbital 1 Gordon Fullerton vehicle.
outstanding. Nice work, guys.
Great job. Next, you're the man.
So there you have it. This is much of our food, clothes, spare parts, and science for the next 6 weeks.
Once Cygnus is docked, it usually takes 2 hours to open the hatch. But today, it's taking even longer because we're having problems getting the hatch open.
Hello, hey buddy. Oh, it works.
And then you pass through the hatch opening and put the stowage latch, loosen the knob, slide to engage, tighten the knob. Hey!
All right.
Woohoo! Koichi!
Now the supply ship is here, and it's time to get our hands on all the goodies inside.
This is some special cargo from the ground folks. I think this is some stuff that our wives may have contributed to, and some of our friends who work for Orbital and other folks. So this is a little bit of a special gift. So we're opening it here for the first time. We're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, we have no idea what's inside.
But we're hoping.
We'll see.
tortilla. The real tortillas.
Look at that. Real tortilla.
Oh my goodness, processata. That's okay. Oh yeah, sausage. Oh yeah.
This is Koichi's bag.
It's not impossible. We all eat. All of us will
Oh
eat.
my goodness gracious. The greatest hot dog relish in the history of man. Oh my gosh, my wife did tell me about this.
Get that.
This is going to be good. We're going to eat like kings this week.
Fresh tortillas. So good. Just like you remember it?
Well, it's not on a hot dog, but it's still darn good.
Very good. Wow. Life is good. For space. Pretty darn good food. Oh.
So I just finished eating and I have to enter in what I ate because the ground folks like to keep track of it. Keep track of our calories, how much salt we're getting, how much protein, things like that. They track us closely on everything. When we lift weights, we have to keep track of how much weight we lift, how many reps we do. When we run on the treadmill or when computers are recording our heart rate, when we turn on lights, when we turn on the toilets. I learned on my first mission there are no secrets in space. We got video cameras in just about all the modules. So it's basically like being in a big fishbowl. The ground knows everything about us up here, which is not that big a deal, but it's something to keep in mind when you need a little privacy. There's no room for egos on the space station. As we're up here for 6 months, we have to get along. But there's one place we can have some private time. So you can see this is the starboard crew quarter, and basically there is no up and down in space. So there's a one on the starboard wall. There's a crew quarter on the ceiling. Another crew quarter on the port wall. And then the fourth one located on the floor, if you will, or on the deck. This is actually my crew quarters.
And when you open the door, you can get in there. It's, it's a little taller than my height, so it's very comfortable. And you can see there's a sleeping bag here, which is very comfortable. The sleeping bag is fixed to the wall so that I don't float away or kick anything. Fortunately for me, I'm actually a little too tall for this crew quarter, so I actually have to stretch my sleeping bag out at an angle so that I don't have my head up against the ceiling. But once you're sleeping, you really don't know what angle you're at in space here, so it's quite comfortable. My back wall, I've got my family portraits, my family pictures. Of course, got a bag of water in case I get thirsty at night. It's a great place to just come in here and unwind and relax. And when it's time to go to sleep, we simply close the doors and see you in the morning. About once a week, and on special occasions, we get phone calls from our families, and we actually have video back and forth with them. So I'm waiting for that to happen right now.
Houston copies, SSD 15. We will dial that one, and space to ground 4 has already been privatized.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Is you today? Your thumb's in the way. Okay, yeah, I see you. I see you better now.
Okay, was my thumb beautiful?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So what are you eating, Steffi?
The buffet at the Japanese embassy. Look. Loads of sushi.
Can you see me? I'm upside down.
Hey, remember me?
Are you gonna get on and go, hey, Ryan?
I'll say hello.
Kisses.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey, Ryan, I love you.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We have emails, we have internet access, but this telephone is really nice to have psychological support to be able to talk with my family and friends. I met my wife Steffi, who's German, 23 years ago in Japan. Our son Akio was born in Houston. We've had to get used to living apart for long periods of time.
Of course, with him being gone a lot, I kind of took on the role of single parent over long periods of times. It does put a strain on family life in the sense of you develop your own pace and you live your own life without the other.
I might not be at home, but there's one thing I'm determined to keep on top of. Akio, どうだい? 元気? ね、補習校昨日休みだったんだろ? 来週あるんだろ? 来週は補習校.
昨日なんかサンクスギビングで休んだよ。
いや、そうだよ。だから来週はあるんだろ? じゃあちゃんと山本先生に教えてもらわないときよ。ちゃんとやってる宿題。OK？ じゃあね、気をつけてね。頑張れよ、今日勉強。
はい。
じゃあね、マウジー。
It's the end of November, and it's time for a haircut. We can't exactly pop out to the barbers, so we've had to master the art of the buzz cut. We've got a special vacuum machine that sucks up all the hairs and stops them from getting into the equipment. Koichi has got it down to a pretty fine art now. Maybe when he retires, he could open up a barber shop.
All right. How much I owe you?
Two tortillas.
2 tortillas! That's steep.
It's Thanksgiving. Big day for us Americans, and we've invited the Russians over to join our celebration dinner.
It's not hard to find. There's a nice river or a lake right next to this house. It's a very distinctive lake.
Yeah. No. Do we have?
You've seen Australia?
Do we have a chance
It's just
to be invited to this house? No.
Absolutely flat, red thing with a huge amount of salted, crazy lakes, and nothing else. It's like the most boring territory. Even Africa is more interesting.
It's a different.
Africa looks like Mars to me.
That's true.
Scuba station on Space Ground 2 for the LTL pump. The inspection portion is complete.
So what we have here is a series of vaccine experiments. These devices basically allow us to mix the different fluids together so that we can test different variations of vaccines. And by turning this handle, this crank handle on this device, I'm actually mixing two fluids together and it activates the experiment. It's Thanksgiving evening. The holiday today was not too bad. It was a work day for us, but when you don't have enough to do, you actually start thinking about being home with your family on the holidays. But it wasn't too bad today, so I'm looking forward to talking in a few minutes.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. What are you guys doing?
We're eating apple pie, pumpkin pie.
I've been married to my wife Candy for a long time now, and we have 3 grown-up kids. It's great to be able to talk to family and friends, even if they sometimes ask you crazy questions.
Where's the space station?
Where's the space station?
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, where's the space station?
I'm in the space station. What do you mean, where's the space station? I'm in it.
I'm north of you.
Yeah, we're probably somewhere probably over the Pacific or over China or something like that. We spend about 75% of our time over the Pacific Ocean, it seems. So that's usually what I say if I don't know.
We're looking at ISS Spotter.
To tell you where we are?
Yeah. You're off the coast of the Philippines, it looks like, Rick. In the Pacific Ocean.
Over the Pacific Ocean. Over the Pacific Ocean. I'm right again.
Gosh, he'll be embarrassed if I say this, but before he left, it was our anniversary. He came out and he says, well, I'm not going to be here for our anniversary. I bought you something. And I was like, wow, okay. And he brought this out, and I haven't taken it off, basically. But what it says was, I'll travel around the earth 1,000 times to get back to you. And so it made me cry because he doesn't normally say stuff like that.
You want me to talk about my emotions?
You don't have any emotions, but if you have any, let's talk about them.
It is Thanksgiving evening, and all of my guests have left for the day. So when everybody leaves, Rick and I usually talk, and we talk about the day, and we spend some time together, and he helps me with the dishes. So I definitely miss him. I wish he was here with me.
Today's Saturday, and Saturday is a cleaning day on the space station. One of the most important tasks we have to do up here is clean and maintain the space station. You have to be willing to do every job up here, even fixing the toilet, because there's no one else to do it.
And that's all there is to it. Bathroom is ready to go.
Station on 2, we see a warning on the caution warning panel. We're looking at PCS.
We copy. We're taking a look, and we'll keep you posted.
It's December 11th. We just got word from Mission Control that a valve in one of the station's coolant pumps has failed. We lost about half of our cooling capability, which means we've had to shut down many of the experiments we have on board while the folks on the ground try to fix it remotely. Now, if that doesn't work, Mike and I will have to go out and do a spacewalk to replace the 800-pound pump package.
Okay, thank you.
We're really hoping that the ground team can fix this because a spacewalk, we call them EVAs, is one of the most dangerous things we can do up here.
Go ahead.
The temperature messages that you're seeing are expected.
It's December 14th. It's Saturday morning. We just woke up, and our game plan has changed. All our Saturday morning vacuuming and cleaning has been replaced with preparing our spacesuits for an EVA.
Ground team couldn't fix the pump, so Rick and I will have to go out and replace it. Rick's an old hand at this, but I've never done a spacewalk before. I've trained long and hard, but this will be my first time. So I'm excited, but understandably nervous.
Even though it's really dangerous, a spacewalk is the high point for every astronaut. I would have loved to go out, but it's my job to stay inside and operate the robotic arm from the lab. So I've still got a big job to do.
Today's the big day. It's a few days before Christmas, and we're about to go out on our first spacewalk. I have no idea what it's going to be like out there, but it helps to know that our wives will be watching us at Mission Control.
I woke up this morning and I had a little bit of butterflies in my stomach. I don't know, asked me in about 5 minutes when he's going out the door. Although, I did make sure he promised me he's going to attach himself as soon as he gets out. That was...
Ricky's going out to do his job, and yes, because this is his 7th spacewalk. And he's my husband, he's their dad, he's a regular person, just like everybody else. And he just has a really cool job.
Okay, guys, when you're ready, we have a go for egress. So, Hopper, we see that the hatch thermal cover is already open, and you have a go for crew lock egress.
You're clear to come out. Coming out.
There's Mike's feet.
We need to inch our way around the space station to get to the faulty pump and replace it with a spare.
20 centimeters.
Copy, 20 centimeters, please, here.
And you can't feel anything either because you're kind of floating in your suit. There's micrometeoroids can hit your suit at any given time. Constantly making sure that you don't bump into something or break something. You're constantly looking at your partner to make sure he's okay. It's a constant mental game.
Yeah, Rick, it looks like you're taking the correct action on that flap. It's just not staying. You have a go to use a red as needed to tie that back.
There's a pit in my stomach. I can't say that there isn't. There's a pit in my stomach. And although I have a lot of confidence in Rick and his abilities, I still was, concerned about him.
I think my feet will warm up now if the sun's up.
There's just no other way to put it. It's dangerous stuff.
Came off for so small. It's going to be hard for us to detect them visually on our suit.
As well, we'll just kind of do it once over there.
Yeah, it work. T-bars tucked in. Ingress 8, I should say, is tucked in. So,
This is the most scary thing I've ever done. Because when you're outside, you feel vulnerable.
They stand by.
There's this amazing ball of emotions that's just churning in your gut. It's the excitement, it's the nervousness.
Copy, Hopper.
Okay. All right, Rick, am I clear with you?
Okay, perfect, Hopper. You have a go to disconnect your SCU.
I just pray that they're okay. Just pray that they're okay.
You complete. SS Armis, the brake is on.
Copy.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of relief. Rick and I have just finished our 2nd spacewalk.
Okay, nice work, Queechy.
We've been out 13 hours in total. Good news is that we successfully replaced the pump. We're exhausted, both mentally and physically, but safe and sound. And while we were out there, I even got to take a few selfies.
All right, taking out the trash. Basically, the trash takes itself out once you get it going in the right direction. My wife would be proud of me. This is not a job I like to do at home, but it doesn't require much effort up here. This bag also contains our dirty laundry. Since we can't wash anything up here, we have to wear our clothes far longer than you do on the ground. Okay, well, we'll pack that away in Cygnus, and then once Cygnus leaves, all our trash will go with it.
Big party night of the year at my house in Houston. Our families and friends are getting together, and even though we can't be there, we found a way to join the fun.
Oh, we have about a minute. Do you want to see the big party? You what?
Let me come over here.
Here it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go back to bed.
Please take a look at it. All right, here you go, Rick.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Upper.
Thank you, Koichi.
Oranges, apples. Oranges and apples.
Very special day.
Another apple.
This is a real treat. We don't get fresh fruit very often. It's like gold dust up here. But luckily, we've got some left over from our last delivery.
Oh, but tastes good.
It's really good.
Oh, fresh fruit. Love it.
It's the end of January, and soon I'll be getting ready to leave. I came up here last September, 6 weeks before Rick and Koichi, so my time is nearly up. It's going to be good to see my wife Julie and the boys, Ryan and Lucas.
We are exactly 6 weeks away from when Mike will be landing here back in Houston. Not that I'm counting. Starting to become real that he's going to be home soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. I can't believe it's almost here.
Before launch, I coached them in lacrosse and hockey.
Can you see?
Yep, sure can. Where's Lucas playing, though? I can't tell.
He's center. He's racing down life right now.
Fortunately, we have a video link, so I've been able to keep track of their games and be there in spirit, if not in person.
Oh, no.
That's all right. Keep fighting back.
And it was really fun because my son got to take a penalty shot and actually scored, so that was fun for Mike to see. It was really exciting for him. So he feels a little bit more connected to the kids because I know it's hard. I know he misses that stuff a lot. Pass it over. Oh.
Copy and understand, and well, give us a shout when you guys are done step 1, and I'll hold on our go for step 2. You bet.
Roger that. It's February 18th. After weeks of packing it to the gills with trash, it's time to say goodbye to Cygnus. There's a robotic car moving back. Cygnus is now a free flyer. It's on its own. Here we are. 19 meters, 20 meters. Now that's taking out the trash. When Cygnus re-enters the atmosphere, it will burn up, and our dirty laundry and food trash will turn to vapors and a bright spectacle. Could be a beautiful sight.
Although Mike will be heading home soon, Rick and I still have a little while to go. But I've been gone so long, one family member has trouble recognizing me.
So, you want to visit Wally real quick?
Yeah, how's he doing?
Let's go upstairs and say hello to Wally.
Hi, Wally. Look who's here.
Hello, Wally.
Open the cage.
Hello, Wally. Wally Yankee.
Wally.
Oh, did you put some, like, a rock, a stone, in his cage?
Yeah, for one thing, he plays with them.
Kind of nice decoration. Wally, you like it? Wally?
636 and 630. You know, I've been training for about 3 years. I've been going on these missions for the past 16 or 18 years. And that's the great thing about having Candy. When I'm off doing some crazy thing, I know that she's got everything under control, and it makes me feel very good.
I'm going to turn you around now.
It's kind of bright out here. You see?
Yeah, looks good. Can't wait to be there.
It's going to be a little while, honey.
Okay, so here's the dead milkweed.
Okay, we'll just pull it out of the ground, shake off the dirt, and put it in the trash.
All right. I'm trying to keep him involved and asking him questions about the yard and the plants, because I know being far away, he might think that I'm doing so well that I don't need him, but I really do need him still.
I've been up here nearly 6 months in this incredible outpost, but it's finally time to punch off and go home. I can't thank the guys enough for getting me through my first time in space. I've learned so much, and I will really miss them and our times together. Only a deorbit burn and a bumpy ride through the atmosphere before I get home to Mother Earth. See you on the other side.
Thanks for getting me home.